Is it time for you to retire? This is a question that I get every single day as I'm speaking with federal employees, going through their numbers, looking at where they're going to be in retirement. And one thing that we talk about is that there are so many different aspects to retirement. And so today, we're going to go through what those aspects are. For example, being emotionally prepared. Now, that might be simple for some people. For example, you may just say, I've been looking forward to it my whole life, and I'm ready, and I know exactly what I want to do. But that's not everybody. Sometimes people have this feeling, for example, that after working all of these years, the transition is a little bit unnerving. For example, as well, I've spoken with people who say that getting ready to retire is like jumping off of a diving board, the highest diving board, into nothing. And that's a pretty scary thing to feel. So if you're in that situation, start thinking about who you might be when you retire. What would it mean to you to not be working every day? Is it something where you may need to take just a slight, job following what you're doing now to ease yourself into the transition of the daily grind, driving into work, working for 8 hours or more, and then coming home and having very little time to do all of the catch up? You may start to find that it feels freeing to know that you'll have that time available to you and be in control of your time. Identity is also part of that. You have a certain identity now. You have your friends at work, you have relationships with coworkers, your managers, and then of course you have your identity at home, where maybe it's within groups that you're in or organizations outside of your job in the government. And so finding that new purpose is really important to supplement who you are now as an employee versus who you will be in retirement. So let's think about this a little bit. Timing is critical for your transition into federal retirement. And deciding on whether you're going to retire has a lot of key factors to it. So it's a balance of making sure that you feel comfortable and emotionally ready to retire, but also looking at the decision points that are coming ahead to you and how they will incorporate into your decision-making process. So understanding the significance of certain age markers, very specific age markers, can help you as you plan ahead. So for example, 59.5 years of age, this is when you have the opportunity to withdraw from your TSP, for example, with penalty-free withdrawal from tax-deferred savings. So if you're a federal employee and you retire before age 59.5, you will be making decisions about the withdrawals prior to actually turning 59.5. If you are working and you turn 59.5, this is an opportunity for you to assess your current savings as they are now and what to do with those, as far as now that you can move those funds even though you're working. How does that work into your future retirement plan? 62 years of age, this is when you are eligible to begin drawing Social Security. And that can kind of be a confusing decision to make based on when you think you can financially retire. So by looking at the numbers, what your pension income will be, including possibly special retirement supplement if you retire before the age of 62. Looking how the Social Security income streams will work into your retirement plan. It is also important to consider 65 years of age, which is where you're now eligible to enroll in Medicare. And this is important for both people who are federal employees and also people who are non-federal employees. It is something that everybody needs to make a decision on at age 65 because there's a short enrollment period for you to decide to enroll in Medicare Part B before you start to receive penalties for not having enrolled in that Medicare Part B. We all have to enroll in Medicare Part A, so that is a given. But as a federal employee, you have many different options available to you as far as healthcare in retirement, I would suggest taking a moment to go into some of our other YouTube video channels regarding healthcare in retirement and Medicare in retirement. And at this point, this is another decision-making point for you as far as what coverage you have and the cost of the coverage. So which balance is it for you? Do you currently have the best cost care that you need from FEHB, maybe your Blue Cross Blue Shield? Or do you find that going into Medicare Part B and finding a supplemental plan may be less expensive and still fill your healthcare needs in retirement? The age 65 to 70 is another key decision-making point with your Social Security. You will reach at this age, around 65, or it can be closer to 67, when you can draw your full retirement age eligibility Social Security benefit. The age that this number is for you is based on the age that you were, is based on the year that you were born. So if you're interested in knowing what your full retirement age is, go ahead and visit Social Security's website, ssa.gov, to see which age your full retirement age is. At that point, you'll be able to consider what is most important for you financially to incorporate as far as Social Security in your retirement pension. That being said, if you wait until age 70, your benefit will increase from your full retirement age until age 70. So you could have an even more robust Social Security benefit by waiting until age 70. So there are a lot of things to consider here. Do you draw your Social Security earlier at age 62 because you need it for your net income to go day to day or month to month? Or do you want to wait? Maybe even the fact that you have decided to work closer to your full retirement age with retirement Social Security benefits. Again, 62, 65 to 70, anywhere from decision making on Social Security and on healthcare. Then once you reach our age of 72, there are required minimum distributions on your thrift savings plan or any other savings that you may have that are pre-tax. In this scenario, if you need to, at this point, start withdrawing from your savings plan, you would need to take a look and understand what percentage you will need to withdraw from your savings at age 72 to satisfy the required minimum distributions. Once you've taken all of these factors into consideration, now you have an idea of not only when you're emotionally ready to retire, but the key decision points that also will affect your retirement readiness. So let's talk a little bit about the accumulation to the distribution phase of your life. This is where I was talking about earlier about that feeling of jumping off of the highest diving board into nothing. And this is a big change. Retirement is a big shift in the sense that you have been saving and putting into your saving your whole life and anticipating that by saving now, you'll be ready to have those savings to live for the rest of your life in retirement. So it is a mind shift to go from that saving into the spending, and it can be frightening and it can be overwhelming, which again, this can be mitigated by talking with somebody who really understands your entire retirement income picture. And if you do feel that this is the most difficult part of retirement, taking time to look at the benefit of all of those savings that you've put into and how they are now going to be a part of the fun part of retirement and using them for things that you enjoy. Maybe it's traveling or just spending money on your grandchildren or your family, whatever it may be. Now you've saved, now you have the joy of using those savings. Let's also talk about the major financial changes as part of transitioning into retirement. So what are the major shifts that you will see in your financial situation? So knowing these needs and desires and how they interact together are very important. So we're going to talk a little bit about budget. Budget can be done obviously at any time. You probably have a budget now, or maybe need to kind of evaluate your budget now while you're working, and then consider what your budget may be in retirement. You probably will find that you still have the same needs and desires and wants in retirement, just like you do now. And if there are places where you find that you are spending more on desires versus your needs, you can reshift and evaluate your budget at that time. So as you're getting closer to retirement, start thinking and talking with your family about what you plan to do in retirement and how you plan to use your money, so that you have a plan as far as the budget goes. Now, we also need to look at the last will, the testament, the retirement estate planning. These are all important at any time. It doesn't hurt to start looking into wills at any age. Also, to consider who's your beneficiary. These are things that you can do at work as far as beneficiaries, making sure that they're up to date. But knowing how your federal annuity payments and retirement distributions will be used. Knowing how your federal annuity payments and retirement distributions will affect your estate planning is important in retirement planning. Long-term actions for your money affect the actions you take now and are important in those first years of federal retirement. I have spoken with people who, for example, are single and they have their TSP savings and they're not really sure what to do with those savings and whether or not they should be leaving something to someone. So there are definitely questions and concerns. What are you looking to do with those savings when you die? And who are you looking to leave this savings that you've worked so hard to put together while you're working?